Hey, it's Ed again. I am feeling partially okay this morning, but I come up to where my dad lives in Arcadia and stayed with him for a few days, and now I'm going to ask him a couple of questions and kind of a little interview for you guys to meet my dad. So, here we go. His name is Dr. Jim. He's on his laptop again. He spends most of his days on his laptop and going to doctor's appointments. But I love my dad, and so I respect him for doing what he does. His real name is James Edward Lastinger, and he goes by Dr. Jim. So, Dr. Jim, how old are you?
Old enough to be your father.
That is true, you are old enough to be my father. So you're probably, what, 62, 63 years old?
Yeah, somewhere like that. Getting kind of personal there, aren't we? Did you provide that list of questions that you were going to ask me? I
Oh,
don't think so.
I've got it all in my head. So what words of advice would you give a person?
Stay out of trouble.
That's a good word of advice. Anything else that's deep and dark?
Deep and dark.
Advice for a person.
Wow. I think best advice, pay your bills on time. Don't overuse your credit card, because if you don't have the money, you're not going to be able to pay the credit card, period.
That is true.
And find someone that needs you, wants you, and loves you.
That is true.
Even find parents that need you, want you, and loves you.
That is very true as well. So, can you tell us a little bit about your work history now that you're retired?
Why you want me to tell you about what I do that I'm retired?
No, your past work history, and then we'll ask what you do now.
Um, I've done a lot of things in life. Started out as a substance abuse counselor for Lee Mental Health. Um, I did that for several years. One day, when you were like 4 years old, you decided that you wanted to go to work with me, but you didn't ask me. And I just happened to get to work and find you in the back seat of the car. So actually, I couldn't turn around and take you home because I lived a great distance from work. So you wound up getting to stay with me at work. I'm not sure if you really enjoyed that time, because you got to see how drug addicts work or act. You got to see a group therapy session when I put a large pillow in the floor and made them all sit in a circle in chairs, and the one that had the problem got to sit on the pillow. And you got to see a real group session take place. And later on, when I was doing an individual counseling session, you were supposed to stay in the main room where all the junkies and crack addicts were at. You decided that you needed to come to where my office was. So I decided that the time remaining there for that afternoon that I wouldn't see any more of my clients. That it was more important to make you feel safe and protected. So we just sat and we talked to the residents that were there in the program. And that happened when I was about 4 years old. And later on, I went to work for the state of Florida. Well, actually, I worked for the state of Florida quite a bit. I worked for Henry Correctional Institution, and they had to send me to the police academy so that I could work inside the prison institution. Everyone that works inside the institution for the state of Florida has to be trained, because you have thugs, mugs, and everything that you can think of inside there. So they want you to know exactly what to look for and how to act and how to defend yourself in case something happens inside the prison while you're in there doing your business that you're doing with the inmates inside the prison. So, but at one of the self-defense classes, I was severely injured, critically injured. Spent some time in the hospital. Finally, then later on, I went to work for the state of Florida again as the training and staff development supervisor. And I had about 4,000 people that I was responsible for training, making sure that they had CEUs, making sure they knew self-defense skills, a host of many things. I developed training for them, which led me on into another career, which was as a private military contractor. What I did with that was people sign up for the military, and that's good. It's good for people to learn discipline and how to be able to take a order and do something correct. But with my experience and my education, I used the skills that I was taught in college and at the university, and I used those skills as a private military contractor. I used them to develop and implement psychological warfare, and I would teach those skills to every branch of the military. And it's how do you win a war without firing a shot? And you can do that. It can be done. Even the Bible even refers to incidences where the wall of Jericho came tumbling down, and it gives specific reason why that wall came tumbling down. They walked around the wall 6 times in 6 days. They were instructed to do it on the 7th day for 7 times, and they blew a horn. It doesn't say what kind of horn they blew, or specifically what type of horn it was, but we know that it was a shofar. So anyway.
Well, now what's a shofar?
It's a type of horn. We're
not
okay. Exactly positive what function that horn does. It could have something to do for the tone, because we know that the walls of Jericho imploded. They didn't fall one direction or the other direction. They just simply collapsed. Anyway, that's a form of what I'm talking about, using psychological warfare. So even the Bible refers to what I'm talking about. So and the end results of the walls of Jericho collapsing was that it confused the people that were within the wall. They thought they were really being attacked, so they pulled their swords out and started killing each other because they couldn't see at night. So the Israelites didn't have to do really anything. So anyway, that's one example of what psychological warfare was. So, anything else?
Yeah, let me pause the camera real quick. Then I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. So tell us about a little bit about your education.
Well, I started out in grade school.
What was your certificate in kindergarten?
High school. Actually, said I was so stupid that I needed to go to a program that was at University of Miami. Actually, I wasn't really stupid. It said I had a higher superior intelligence. So actually, they actually enrolled me as a freshman in college, and I started as a freshman in college, approximately at the age of around, I think it was around 15 years old. So then I didn't finish up the degree then because something got kind of came along, marriage, something called a child. Then after that, later on, years later, I did complete the degrees that I set out to get. And it was between University of Florida and University of Miami that I completed my master's degrees and PhDs in psychology and sociology. And I completed those. Someone once asked me when they were looking at my degree, why didn't I have my bachelor's degree showing with it? I kind of looked at him and said, well, I graduated kindergarten also, should I put that one up? So, to me, it's kind of, once you have a doctorate, there's really no use to show any other degree. I mean, if you have your doctorate, you have the other degrees.
And what did you get your doctorate in?
One is in psychology. The second doctorate is in sociology. And also, I took an online course from Falwell School, that would be Jerry Falwell's Liberty, and earned a doctorate in educational theology. So my life was going in a non-positive way for a while due to a very horrible breakup of marriage.
Plugging in my battery.
So anyway, I decided to not worry about that issue and applied myself so that I could possibly help the most people, or maximum amount of people that I could help. So that's what I did.
Well, that's interesting. As a kid, I remember you working at an eyeglass place called OptiWorld. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. I made I was a lab supervisor, and I supervised the making of eyeglasses. Basically, are equivalent to the education of an optician. You have to know the 11 muscles of the eye, how the eye works, the crystalline lens. Basically, have to know everything about the eye. And then you have to know how eyeglasses work. And then you have to know how to actually make the lens itself. And you have to be in that particular position. You had to be able to do it, a pair of those lenses and glasses in 45 minutes. And I had the responsibility of making sure that there were about 8 technicians that would be capable of doing that within 45 minutes. And that was their big sales gimmick, was that you could get a pair of glasses within an hour's time. So I knew everything about refraction, how the light hits your eye, refracts, it divides the colors. It's the curvature of your lens that creates or shines a light to the back of the cornea of your eye, retina of your eye, and you would have to figure out the actual shape that would have to be for that particular vision to be corrected. So your lenses can be somewhat curved in the front, but then have a massive curvature on the back side of it, so that it can actually focus light directly to the retina.
So you're talking about a myopic lens,
Well, yeah.
a myopic prescription.
Well, I'm talking about every prescription, whether it's whether it would be just a regular single vision lens or progressive lens or whatever it would be. That was a fun thing to do. I enjoyed it.
Yes, being an optician myself, I enjoyed making people's glasses as well. I wouldn't sand down any blanks, but I would pre-order blanks, take the prescription that the doctor gave me, match it up with the blank that I had, and then edge down that lens so it would fit in a eyeglass frame. And I would typically produce about 17 to 18 pairs a day, which was a lot of lens cutting, spending about 8 hours on my feet putting lenses in a lens cutter machine and doing that. I did enjoy that too, because it gave me a satisfaction of a scientific job, along with a sales job because I was also responsible in selling things, and I really enjoyed that as well. And I gotta say, I learned that from my dad. I got that inspiration from my dad. So,
No, that's nice.
anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, if you play the lottery, just buy one ticket, $1 worth. Because if you're meant to win the lottery, it only takes $1. Don't spend your whole paycheck.
That is true. That is very true. So, well, I'm going to go ahead and end up this interview. Once again, this is Dr. Jim Lastinger. Dr. Jim is what he goes by with his friends. And I'm going to go ahead and flip it around again so that you guys can see me and go ahead and end this video. Like I said, my videos are raw and in the cut, no fancy edit here. So it's just a raw video interviewing my dad. So go ahead, like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Have a good day. Bye-bye.